Tonight,
Saida.
we are all together. We are all together for Swami, and we owe everything that we are to him that is, he that is. So, at his lotus feet, we place our words, our thoughts, our deeds, and tonight's lessons, hopefully he'll teach us all. So, we had a thought. First, we could entertain any questions that anyone might have from last week or the last month or the months before. If anybody has any meditation questions, feel free to ask away.
I think I have some.
Yes.
And this goes all the way back to when we started to do the past experiences clean out, the unconsciousness, unconscious. I started having dozens and dozens of re-experiences. And I started meeting people of my past, and mostly people that I had meetings with, and many of them were just they were so pleasant and they were lovely. And this went on and on and on. It went for a couple months, and I missed some of them. It was very nice, but this whole process, then the process went into a lot of the pains. And, I think part of our incarnation this time is we're really getting swamped. And it's like it hasn't stopped. And I haven't been able to meditate the way I did before. And it feels like I'm not able to anymore. Now every once in a while I have a really wonderful meditation, but and I find myself singing inside to Swami, and then that really works, but it's not the same as meditating and going up into my crown and beyond. And I just don't know what's happening and if I have to do something more to get past this.
That's a perfect question for tonight. Such a good question, because tonight we're going to do subconscious cleansing meditation again.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, what a great segue question. But the point is the matter is this. I don't know how long you were meditating before we did the subconscious cleansing meditation, how many years, but how many years it was. We get high, in a sense, through meditation, because we go beyond the mind, we go into the heart center and into our soul centers, and we just expand with the light and the love, and we just experience this tremendous bliss and wonderment. And that's just fantastic. But while doing that over and over again, we need to clean up the basement. And if we haven't cleaned up the basement's going to mess us up. And Swami has said it like this many times: the foundation of life has to be the 5 human values, not just in action, not even just in thought, not even just in word, but in our subconscious. So the subconscious is the unknown. That's why it's called subconscious. It's beyond the conscious mind. It's or below the conscious mind, you might say. But it nevertheless holds all our pain, all our happiness too, of the past, mostly the pain. And it's the stuff that we are afraid to look at or experience again or let go of. And it's always trying to remind us, hey, I'm down here in the garbage dump and you need to clean the garbage dump out. It's by becoming conscious. And then we're so scared of it as human beings that we push it back down in instead of just letting it flow out because it's harmless. We're not our thoughts, we're not our feelings, and we're certainly not our past experiences. We're not our ego, we're not our personality, we're not our mind, we're not our body. So how many lifetimes of past experiences have we had? Hundreds, thousands perhaps? How many it is, I know I'm a super flunky. I've been here a long time. I haven't become liberated yet. What the heck, Baba? You know, come on already. So, so basically, that what holds us back is our subconscious fears, our subconscious attachment, our subconscious.
That's a new one for me. Subconscious fears.
Yeah, desires, our subconscious desire, which we call vasanas, the seed desires that lead to our reincarnation over and over and over again. The tendencies that hold us back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So those are called vasanas, and they're in the subconscious mind. And we should never, ever be afraid to just look at it, look into the fire of love, and let those things dissolve in the fire of love, in the fire of awareness, in the fire of God. That's what we do in the subconscious cleansing meditation, but it's not just for that. It's not just every 3 months you do a subconscious cleansing meditation, then you're okay. No, it's basically you do it in order to do it every moment of the day. Let go, let go, let go, let God. And another thing about your question is that you can never judge the quality of the meditation. If you sit with your eyes closed, if we sit with our eyes closed and say, God, you do it. You're the meditator within, and all I do here is sit and love you in thought, in mantra, in song, however it may be for you, however you like to meditate. Everybody has a slightly different way of meditating. Then that's all that it takes to sit and wait 20 to 30 minutes. 30 minutes is better once or twice a day. Twice a day is better than once. That's Swami says, meditate twice a day, 30 minutes. Why? Because at about 23 minutes, the mind gives up. It completely gives up. It quiets down unless a lot of stresses are being released, in which case deep stresses are released. Deep stress means karma. Deep karmas are being released. And it's a process of letting go, cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. And then remember, the subconscious includes the body of the cells, the memory of the cells, the biochemical functioning of the cells, which means when we experience trauma, we experience it physiologically. We hold tight, and it becomes part of our musculature, becomes part of our neurological system. And that level has to be let go of too. And how do we do that? We see everything that we have incarnated with, the body, mind, personality, ego complex. We see it as light. We see it in the Jyoti. We see it as God. We see it as love. That's all that it really takes. And as long as it takes, doesn't matter. Because we've been here a long time on this planet, very, very long time. There's a few souls that have been on other planets and then came here. I think the other planets were nicer, but, personally, but I know I've been here a very long time, and I'm tired of it. You know, I don't need to do it anymore. And one more time's enough for me. I'll do it because the famous Sai Baba has come, and I want to help with the mission. And by the grace of God, hopefully after that, we're done. But I know a yogi who Swami sent me to, a yogi Ram Sarat Kumar. He's been sent Roseanne there too. And when Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar passed, he was fully one with Swami, fully, completely. He was in Brahman consciousness. And he was, Swami had sent us both to him at different times because he only had like 12 or 10 or 5 people around him at any one time. So you could really have some personal interchange. Questions were answered that I would never have an opportunity to ask Swami, and wouldn't dare ask Swami, actually, some of the questions. But, and he was always open to anything. maybe he's a disciplinarian, just like Swami was, as much as he was the embodiment of love. And he said when he was passing, I am going to come back until the last grain of sand on the last beach is fully liberated. I mean, that is quite a dedicated soul to God. I mean, that is the ultimate Buddhic mission statement, you might say. So, whatever it is, it's all up to God. However fast we go, whatever experiences we have, whatever happens in meditation, we just let it be. We surrender that to God and let it be. God knows what he's doing, she's doing. If you want to call God he, she, it's fine. God's the absolute, so it's either he or she, but we can call he, she as a human being. So, Roseanne, you want to add to that?
Yes. If we only had wonderful, happy meditations, we would turn into egomaniacs. So you're very blessed. People really fall under thinking that there's something. And, it's good to work through everything. The basic way the koshas, our bodies are situated, I guess would be the word. And please, everyone who speaks Sanskrit, my pronunciation is incorrect. I apologize. But there's the mind, the lower mind. We have the physical body, then we have an emotional body, which is very, it likes to have emotions. So we have all our emotions, and the mental body, which is like the lower mind. And that's the one where if we're like, thinking, oh, I want to go have a snack after this, our mental body will go into the kitchen to get a snack. And then we'll pull it back. But it's very uncontrolled and unruly. And then we have the buddhi, which is the higher mind, the conscience, the consciousness of something more, that we want to use that to purify those lower mental processes, the lower emotional processes. And what Al said about the vasanas are what we carry from birth to birth, our tendencies. And the way Swami says to get rid of them is, he takes the analogy, which probably most of you have heard of it from Indian cooking. You fry the seeds and then they won't sprout again. And so what's the fire? The fire is the fire of sacrifice. And it's not, Swami says, the sacrifice, the outward, fire. It's the inner fire that we build and build and build within ourselves, that, as Krishna says, is everything is sacrificed to the Lord. We do nothing. We let God do everything. And that is an incredibly lifelong journey that it's just not done quickly. Even Ramana Maharshi, who got liberated, when he was 16, spent 12 years in a couple of caves after that. It's something that is our whole life, is learning that sacrifice, what that is. And so the light, everything going into the light, whether it's good or bad, it's only God that gives it to us, whether it's good or bad. And the more we could see from the higher consciousness of ourselves, and then there's the body beyond, like the bliss body beyond the buddhi. There's much more to us than we're aware of. And meditation helps us to become more aware of all of this other stuff that's going on within us. And so that's why we meditate. And this subconscious cleansing, that's the fire of sacrifice. it's the same as like the Agnihotra, that's the outer symbolism of what has to happen within us at every moment, the sacrifice of all the thoughts and feelings, of all actions, of everything we say and do to God.
Well, I guess what you helped me express better what I was trying to say. When I get into some of these past events, I start reliving them. And in reliving them, I start acting in them again. And that's where I get trapped. In other words, I start thinking, I should have done this or I should have done that. And why did this happen? And I get involved and I realize, oh my God, why am I there?
So must remember,
that's
remember what Swami said. Remember what Swami said. We've said this before. There are no victims. Everything that happens to us, with us, around us is perfect in God's plan. That's my direct experience, because when I was in college, I died before I started meditating. I stupidly did some marijuana that wasn't so good. And my friends had to revive me. And before they could, I saw my whole life flash before me from that moment right to birth, even in the womb. And it fit together everything that happened, every thought I had, every action that I had happened to me, every action I did, every feeling I had fit together perfectly like a perfect jigsaw puzzle and made absolute sense. And all the reasons why were there before me in a flash. It was a cognition. And then I started heading to that white light at the end of that tunnel. And I heard my name being screamed by my friends and they revived me. But the fact of the matter is, that is the truth of our inner reality and experience on earth. We have to remember that through the day. There's nothing that happens around us that isn't absolutely the plan of God, all for the best, all for our evolution, no matter what it is. All is a balancing act of the karmas of the past with the present. And we don't suffer as much when we take our spiritual practices, our sadhana, seriously, when we're sincere about it. We can go through hell and not even feel any pain. And that's one of the things we want to talk about tonight. But I do want to answer your rest of your questions. And sorry I interrupted you with that.
No, that's all right. I mean, I think you heard them.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Sairam, Brother Al, this is Mohan.
And I am relishing and tasting the practice of meditation for the last couple of months, and I am doing. Let me express what I'm doing and see if it is the right track.
So EDU.
Someone talking? Okay, so when I start the meditation, I start with my Om, and then after some time I start chanting within my mind, and I try this technique of not allowing my mind to think of anything else but the divine name. I repeatedly, force myself, to think of the chanting repeatedly. And what I do is I make it like a circle. So I start with number 1, go through 8, and then start with the 1 again. It's like 8 becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So I repeatedly chant the divine names. And is this the way to go about? And I am able to do it like maybe like 20 plus minutes every day. But I am doing it sitting posture in the morning, but I'm doing the same thing when I'm doing something else in the evening, like walking or waiting or doing something else. Is this the way to go, or am I doing it? Okay.
This is japa. This is japa, what you're describing. Japa is japa. It's the chanting of the name with concentration. Now, meditation is going beyond the mind, going beyond the senses. So when we sit for meditation, we could start with japa, but don't have a number. Just say the name with sincerity and see what happens. And when the mind comes back in, you want to say the name again with sincerity, let that happen. But forcing the mind to concentrate is not the way of meditation, because that leads to rebellion. You know, there's guerrilla warfare that goes on.
Okay.
In the
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah, the feeling, Swami talks about the feeling, that's the concentration to contemplation. And so when we're doing the japa, it's the next thing to work on is having the feeling. Think about how wonderful Krishna is, or whoever you're chanting to.
So
Thank you. That was
thank you very, very
good
much.
questions.
Good. Let's go into the lesson for tonight, and I hope that everybody sticks around. This is going to be a little bit of difficult class in terms of what we're going to discuss and what we're going to do, but it's well worth doing and well worth discussing. So through the years of being with Swami and Roseanne and I, it's been quite a long time now. It's been something like 50 years for me, and almost that for Roseanne. We've noticed that Swami, Swami tests us every day. God tests us every day, in the little tests, big tests, small tests, and we repeatedly get tested until we pass. There's no failing in the school of God on earth, but there is delay. And that's dependent upon our sincerity and our following the teachings of God in all the different forms that God has ever incarnated into and taught through as an enlightened being. And those teachings, especially of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, are quite precious because they're like the Vedas. They're just straight truth, and the embodiment of truth in the form of, and conveyed in the form of love. So very important. But from time to time, and we could say in my experience, it's been about 4 or 5 major tests that Swami puts all his devotees through, not just you or me in a personal way, but everyone at the same time. And these major tests, Swami once said, I'm separating the chaff from the wheat. What does that really mean? Nobody's really chaff. But those people that are really sincere and believe that Swami is who he says he is, and he does say, I am the avatar, I am the absolute incarnated into human form. Now you can believe that, or you can believe he's just one with the absolute, as a fully enlightened being is. Either way, he's always said, all names are mine, all forms are mine, meaning all names belong to the absolute, all forms are incarnations of the absolute. Some know it and some don't. So we're all omnipresent spirit, omnipresent God in human form, and everything else is also on different levels of consciousness, of awareness. So when we get these major tests from Swami, and the latest was recently, when the Satya Sai International Organization, the Prashanti organization split off. That's a major test. And before that, there was Mudanahali. And before that, there was Swami's Mahasamadhi. All 3 of those are serious major tests. And before that, there was a scandal that the newspapers were running about Swami, which was totally ridiculous. And I knew all the people personally who made the allegations, and they were totally false. And before that was another version of that. And before that, I'm sure the devotees earlier on than me and had experienced other major tests along the way. These are when he puts all his devotees through the same process of, do you have faith in me? Are you fully surrendered to the truth within me, the absolute? What are you going to do with this? Now, remember, Swami teaches three basically major things. First is love all circles. Second is hurt never, help ever. And the third is why? Because all is God. We are all one. It's just the absolute in Halloween costumes in the human family of humanity. So we're all God in different forms. And this is what we're growing into knowing. And many times Swami has said to us and many others, when somebody says, who are you? Or who am I? Swami has said, I am God and you are God. I know it, he says about himself. And you don't know it yet, but you will. And that's the only difference. And he's also called himself a signpost. I'm just pointing the way to the absolute, that's all. And then he's also said, and this is part of the third major teaching, go beyond name, go beyond form, go to the absolute. So keeping that in mind, it's not difficult to pass all these tests, but you have to keep it in heart, not just mind, and it has to be a part of your life. And it pushes all of us simultaneously, and there's like 60 million followers of Sai Baba in this world. And then the hundreds of millions and billions of followers of other forms and names of the God, in the absolute. So, but in terms of his followers, because not everybody follows what happens around Swami and his organizations, we know these 60 million people, we get tested. And these are the major tests. And he said, get on that jet plane. I'm taking off and I'm going to take everyone with me who passes these tests. So get on the jet plane. So this is what he said while he was alive. So in a human form anyway, he's still alive. Actually, he's very much alive as Prema Sai Baba already. And that's kind of a fact. So the thing is, we have to wait 10 more years or more till he reveals himself as Prema Sai Baba, but I'm willing to wait. How about you? So the truth of it is that when these tests come, don't lose faith. And we've always had an expression, hang on to his feet. If he drags you through the mud, if he drags you through the cold, if he drags us through the heat of the jungle and the waters of the seas, the oceans, hang on to those feet, because by hanging on to those feet, we'll cross the Sea of Maya to the other shore, which we'll find out was always there in the first place. But nevertheless, I'm going to ask Roseanne to speak on this too, because she's been through many of these tests herself.
There's the big tests and there's little tests. And those are constant. When we were with Swami, he would always test us. He would use us to test other people. He'd use people, to test us. And just, his teaching was to love everyone and serve everyone. And so if I could remember that, in the moment, then I would pass the test. And if I didn't, then I would fail. And he never condemned anyone. You just keep doing it until you pass. And it was something that was part of ashram life. He had pretty much set up very nicely that we would always have to take into consideration that our ego wasn't the most important thing, and that love, what is active love? What is surrender? It's when someone, even if someone's unreasonable or misunderstands us, just to love them, and to, if somebody said, if the Savadal says, do this, you do it, and occasionally it was okay to say something in this, with love, but it was always refining ourselves and refining ourselves. And since he, dropped his body, it's more apparent, that it's everywhere. It's in our life everywhere. It doesn't have to be a Savadal telling us what to do. It could be anybody. And we just have to pass those tests. We have to love people unconditionally. And that's really all that matters, is that we keep doing it and keep doing it, and keep, being honest with ourselves about who we really are, which is not this ego, it's not the mind, it's not what our desires are. And to just love everyone and to see them as God too. And it's just a very slow process, constantly seeing the divine. And it gets hard. It gets very hard, obviously, right now. In America, people are very divided politically. They're scared of getting sick. There's a nice plague going on. Hopefully it's receding. But we have to constantly put our faith in God and constantly love all and serve all, no matter what they're saying, no matter what our mind might agree or disagree, just to love everyone.
So wherever we see a division of authority, organization, wherever we see somebody criticizing another group and saying they're not the ones, because that is not what God is about. That is not what unity and oneness and love are all about. That doesn't mean that we follow a group because they were criticized by the other group, so we leave that group, because everybody's human beings learning on this path. But what we do is go back to the source, to Swami, and find out, what did he say originally about the various organizations that he formed, number one. What did he say originally about not criticizing others, number two? What did he say originally about not taking money, number three? Swami never took any money from us. I gave money for the ashram rooms, but he never asked for it. I had to beg him to take it, but on behalf of the organizations that built those rooms. And also, what did he say about loving harmony and cooperation amongst his seva workers and the people that were within his fold of devotees? Go back to the original teachings. Do not ever go back to the interpreters of those teachings and think that's the authority, because it's not. No one is an authority on Swami any more than you are. Only Swami's original words are what is meaningful in terms of our actual spiritual progress, not anybody's interpretation of them, not anybody's skewing of them for their personal benefits or for their personal agendas, whatever they may be. That's the most important thing, always. And Swami did say, all my teachings are universal and available to everyone. And he also said many times, I have a personal connection to each and every one of my devotees. I will tell them myself. Nobody else has to tell them for me. I once asked Dr. Kasturi, Mr. Kasturi, well, Mr. Kasturi, I had a dream that I was to write a book about dreams, and there were like 7 types of dreams, and some of them were spiritual levels of dreams. And I was going to write a book about it, and I had a dream to write a book about it from Swami in that night. And I went to the story and I said, can you ask Swami if I should write this book now? Because I was pretty young, I didn't know much. I was just, studying for a few years in therapeutic, professional graduate school. So Kasturi went and asked Swami, and Swami said, tell him I will tell him myself. I was stunned, because I thought, who am I? Swami's going to tell me myself. So I'm still waiting for Swami to tell me myself. I think it's about time. I'm still waiting. But that's what he said. And he said that always to anyone who wanted to ask a question through a third party or person for the Swami to give the answer. He always said, I'll tell them myself. So remember, hold on to Swami. No matter what pandemic manifestations happen, tribulations, or anything else besides that. And Swami said, I've come here to stop all the tribulations. Minor things may happen, but why do you believe in that? If you believe in that, you don't believe in me. I'm here to save humanity, not destroy it. So that's encouraging. We're going to have a good world. It may take another 100 years, but we're going to have it. So in the meantime, here we are. So anything else? Okay, let's, I think it's time for those subconscious cleansing meditations. So we're going to go into meditation now and get comfortable, because we'll be about 45 minutes in meditation, 40 minutes. The first 20 minutes is going to be the subconscious cleansing meditation. And we have a little surprise in between the regular meditation, the subconscious cleansing meditation, another exercise. Roseanne's looking at me. What's the surprise? I already explained. All right. So let's get comfortable. Let's do our 3 Oms. Make sure you're comfortably straight, head comfortably erect, and you won't have to move much, if at all, for the next 40 minutes. So let's take a moment to follow our breath through our heart center, thinking so, breathing in through the heart center, thinking hum, H-U-M, breathing out, which means I am that I am. When the mind wanders and you notice, don't judge it for wandering, don't criticize it for wandering, it's just doing what it's supposed to do. And it's also the product of stress release that it wanders. But when you notice it's wandered away, come back gently, easily, effortlessly to so, breathing in through the heart center, hum, breathing out. Let's do this for a few minutes. It's a mental exercise, not a verbal exercise. So we're thinking so, breathing in, we're thinking hum, breathing out. Through our heart center, as if we have a nose in the center of the chest. So gently, easily, effortlessly coming back to it when you notice your mind's wandering off. Think now, in your mind, does error clog the free flowing essence of my being, God speaking here, through you? Ask me, God within you, this moment to reveal to you your errors in the silence of your meditation. Make that prayer inside yourself this moment. We'll make our prayer inside ourselves. God, reveal to me the error of my ways, where I still have to align my thoughts, words, and deeds with you. Show me where I have erred in the past. Show me how it's affecting me in the present. Help me correct this, God, within me. Like that. In your own way, take a moment for that. Show me my flaws, God. Please reveal to me. So let old memories well up in you. From my subconscious in you, old patterns, old forgotten feelings and thoughts. So to do this, look into your third chakra, into your solar plexus. That's where the subconscious memories mostly lie. They also lie in the brain, but they're connected to the third chakra very deeply, and the second and the first. Just look in there like you have a spotlight, and you're looking deep into that basement of your mind and your heart, basement of your heart, basement of your lower chakras, first, second, and third. And let old memories and thoughts and patterns well up from my subconscious in you. Let them reveal themselves, just like a movie unfolding in your mind's eye, perhaps. Don't be afraid to relive them in this moment. Everything is safe. God is with you. If you cry, it's worth crying about. Feel it just as you did then. Get into it real deep. Don't be afraid. Let it all come up. All about that particular day or that moment or that relationship. Those parents or family, whoever it is, wherever it is, whenever it was. Let it come up in you. Let it well up in you. Get into it fully as if it's happening right now. Once again, except you're not attached to it so much anymore. It's just there. You don't have to run away from it anymore. Now, within your heart center, plunge them into the ocean of light, as if there's a fire like a yagna within your heart, the fire of God, cooling, soothing blaze. Plunge these memories into that blazing love, that blazing fire of love within your consciousness, within your heart. Burn them from the consciousness so that you may be true emblems of my being. Right now, visualize my burning flame within your heart, rising higher and higher as it burns through you. It's a cooling, soothing flame, a cleansing and healing flame that soothes the hidden sorrows and leaves you calmed and quiet. And you can visualize Swami within your heart, or any name and form of God you adore, helping you throw those old memories, old feelings, old thoughts from the subconscious mind, old experiences into that fire of love within you, within your heart, in your mind, in your soul. Cleanses all the past, dissolves and releases us from the karmic bonds through love, the great dissolver of all karma. Now, when you feel like you've placed it all in that fire of love, let's go back in and look at it again. Look at some more. Take that searchlight of the higher intellect, the buddhi, awareness. And look into the subconscious mind once again. The subconscious mind that's in the heart center, that's in the solar plexus, that's in the second and first chakras too. That's in our experience in the mind, memory. Let it search for something that's stuck there. What's stuck there? Oh, Baba, reveal to me what's stuck there. Show me. Let old memories, patterns, feelings, thoughts well up within you. Relive them this moment. Don't be afraid. Like an old movie, you're watching it. Just let it come forth, whatever it may be. Let it well up. Don't be afraid. Relive it for a moment with all its feelings associated. Whatever relationships. Pick one. Go deeply into it this moment. And when you fully experience it as much as you can experience it for now, then ask Swami, ask anyone within your adored form or name of God to help you place this memory into the fire of love, the yagna that dissolves all impurity, all subconscious. Om. Let it burn in that fire. These old thoughts, memories. Let it flow into that fire. cooling, soothing, blazing fire of love that heals all wounds. God within us. Om. Feel the love of Baba soothing you, cooling, soothing love, healing love, tender love of 1,000 mothers, 1,000,000 mothers. Om. So let's go down deep, the third dive, and this time, dive deep into the subconscious mind. And this is, I'm going to leave it up to you. But I've been doing this now for 30 years. So I'm just going to say, for those that have been doing it a while, Swami, you know the subconscious mind within each of us. So this moment, Swami, I can choose an old memory, an old thought, an old feeling. You can do that. Or you can take the whole subconscious mind itself and offer it to God to place into the fire of love. Not needing to go memory by memory, but just take the whole thing, Swami. I don't need it anymore. I don't want it anymore. There's nothing in it of value. I don't need the memories, good, bad, and the ugly. I don't need it. I don't want it. You can have it. I place it at your lotus feet. You put it into the fire of love, Swami. I'm yours. I'm yours, Swami. We are one. Sharanagati, 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 Swami. We surrendered. We surrender. Whatever experience may come, it is your will. Whatever experience came, it was your will. Whatever is happening right now, it is your doing. Swami, I love you. Remove the I and the you, and all there is love. Up to you. You can place the whole thing at its feet, if you would like to. I am that I am. Praise to God. Let it heal us all. Don't be afraid. Fear is only false evidence appearing real. The rope in the night that looks like a snake in the sunlight reveals to be only a rope, nothing more. Mortal souls of love, we are. Om. Swami, heal all our wounds. God, heal all our wounds. God, in any name and form we adore, heal all our wounds. Oh. That love, that fire of love, soothe and heal all that is. I am yours, Swami. You are mine. You are ours, Swami. We are yours. Oh. So now where those subconscious memories were, where the subconscious mind was, still is maybe, but a great deal of it now has been offered into the fire of love, maybe the whole thing. Let there be love there, because where energy has been stored as memories, there's the need to make that energy from a neutral into a positive. So love yourself. Love what happened. It was all perfect to begin with. There were never any mistakes. You never made any errors. There was no you doing it. It was always God doing everything. Always. Just looked like it was someone separate from God, but it never really was. Never will ever be. There's only God here. No one else. Only God here. Let it all go. All the identification with the body, mind, subconscious, all that false identification. Let it go. We are wildflowers in a field of God together, all connected to the same earth, God, earth. All the beauty of all the different flowers, how glorious God is. Let it all dissolve into that. Let love be. Om Baba. Our Baba, we adore thee. In form and formless, we adore thee. Om.
Feel the love. The love that calms and cools all the emotions that are receded into nothingness. It's the God's love shine, shine within you. Just feel it inside. Cool, calm grace of love. Shining there inside you. Feel it building deeper and brighter. It's love shining within you. Feel how quiet we are without all the noise of the emotions, the past tugging on us. Just feel this quietness. untouched by anything. Never done anything. Was the senses, and the mind, a real self. It's untouched. You were never born. You will never die. You are the infinite light. Feel how much God loves us. You're not the body. That infinite, supreme consciousness. Feel it within. Feel this perfect consciousness within. Feel within your body this perfection of consciousness. You can see as light. You can feel as bliss. It fills up every atom. There's no place left for darkness. Let it all be light. Every cell is light. Feel grounded in trust as we sit, this great consciousness of God. All our senses are bathed in this light. There's nothing outside of it. Feel the third chakra that we've been working on. Feel it filled with this consciousness, with this light shining, full of bliss. There's no space that's empty of this bliss. Just let it flow. This love. God loves us so much. Feel yourself filled with this love. God has forgiven us. Let's just thank God with all our hearts. Get your heart open as though all this light is shining. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Our flame of love. Our heart is totally open. God is everywhere. God loves through us. Let this love flow. Feel it just flowing, God flowing through us. We just love so much. Everything is love. Love your family. See them in this love. Feel it. Every one of them, just see them bathed in love. And look how happy they are, how healthy they are. Unity of our family. Oneness. And serve and love. And love and serve. Constantly. Our homes, a seat of love. Filled with virtue. And giving. And forgiving. Let your love shine even more. Even if it feels like it can't be more, it can. It is more. Let it flow to your friends, your Sai Baba friends, your friends from your childhood, all friends that we love and we serve each other. And we feel unity. Whatever words may be spoken without thought, they aren't the real basis of our friendship. Our friendships are beyond that. They're divine friendships. Just love them. Just know that our unity is always there. Send the same love out to the people we work with. To see everyone in the light, everyone is there to serve. Everyone is there in the dance of Krishna, dance of Shiva. We are all united, all working together for good. See everyone in this light. Now, if there's anyone who is possibly in the worldly view an enemy, see them too in this light. See beyond what anyone says or does, but their core. Their core is the divine, infinite, supreme. Their reality is our reality. It's oneness. To see everyone in the light. Whatever we think upon. Same light of God shines within everyone. Every cell. See, the clouds part of our delusion of separateness. Just feel the bliss of oneness. Shining light. A million suns. Every soul in the universe shining and pulsating with love. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. God is already there. God is always there.
Oh, the light. Be a lighthouse of love. Let their heart be open wide to all who come, whether they be family, best friends, acquaintances, strangers, or so-called enemies. Love them all this moment in your heart, in your mind, in your consciousness. Spread God's unconditional love through all the countries of this world, all beings within it. May they be happy and healthy and prosperous. May they be awakened in God's wondrous love. Take a moment, love all and serve all in this inner way this moment. When you feel like you've loved as much as you can possibly love, ask Swami, ask God to love through you, accomplish the goal, loving all and serving all. Don't wait for tomorrow. Let it happen this moment. Through you, God loves all and serves all. Right now. And so as we love all and serve all, God loves us totally, unconditionally, as an intimate, ever-present part of the omnipresent being of God. Raindrops in the ocean return to the ocean. I am that I am. Hum Brahmasmi. Let it all go. Being is lost in becoming. Right now, just be. Be the omnipresent that you always are. One who is never born and will never die. The true. You were never born and we will never die. Om Tat Sat Om. Let everything else go. Dream. Let it go for a moment. Let it go. Take us home, Swami. Just for a moment, take us home. Please. So now, be aware of where you are in your consciousness. Take inventory. Don't strive, just be. And be aware of how you feel right now. And who you are right now. Especially in comparison to how you felt before meditating tonight. Grace of God is with us. Grace of God is with you. Every moment of every day, through the very breath you breathe. Grace of God is love. Breathe this love, this grace. Breathe your conscious awareness back into the body, to the temple of the body, the altar of the heart. Eternal flame of love burns always on that altar. Breathing it back in. Breathing it back into these temples, coming down in, at your own pace. Take your time, keeping the eyes closed for a good 2-3 minutes. Let's Om for peace in this world as we come back into our bodies, grounded into the earth like trees in the forest, sequoias, redwoods, the roots of our energies of God, flowing through the bases of our spine, right to the core of the Mother Earth, right through the soles of our feet to the core of the Mother Earth. Deep roots, the tallest and strongest trees, grounded, love in action, God in action on earth. That's who we are. Love in action, embodiments of love, grounded in Mother Earth that gave us these temples to begin with. Om. Let us pray for the world. May it be at peace. May all beings be happy and prosperous, healthy. God awakening happen within us all. God on earth. Let there be peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We thank you, Papa, for the grace of your love, the sacrifice that you make each and every moment of the day for the sake of love. Sacrifice, being God on earth. Thank you. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Awake, arise, the glorious self, no longer separate from God, merged in oneness with love and God. Wake on earth. Ready for loving all, serving all, in every thought, word, and deed. Grace of God be with you. Thank you. Jai Sairam. Jai Bol Bhagavan Shri Satya Sai Babaji Taki.
Okay.
Yay. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister, for taking us through this deep meditation and cleansing process, and also spreading love everywhere. It was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
We'll see you all next month, third Wednesday.
Thank you. We will be here. Hope you will be. Bring your friends and side devotees, no matter what they may think of what way they want to work or play in this organization of love. Bring them.
Ira.
Sai Ram. Thank you very much.
Sairam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Sairam.
Do you want to close with that closing prayer, Prasanna?
Yeah, sure. Dear Swami, thank you for taking us to this deep inner journey under the guidance of Brother Al and Sister Roseanne. Please help us to remember all that we learned today and continue to practice cleansing our tendencies and consciously remembering to love all and serve all and help ever and hurt never. And all the beautiful messages that you've given us through them to remember and live it every moment until we meet again. Please be with us, Swami, and guide us and continue to persevere to find you in us and in everyone and everywhere. Later.
Samasta loka
Sukhino Bhavantu.
Samasta loka
Loka Sukhino
bhavantu. Samasta loka
Sukhino
bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Ram.
I don't.
Jai Sai Ram.
Sairam.